So finally, let's get the glass simulated. So we'll need some constraint properties. Always need constraint properties on your constraint. Otherwise the sim will fail. As long as you have constraints, that is. So I've only got one, set of constraints, so we don't need, to do any group stuff. So these are glass. This is glass, so just glue is fine. We don't need soft constraints, unless you kind of have, laminated glass with plastic in it, for cars. That's good. So we need this to be really weak. 100 should be good. Oops. We can give it a nice fancy blue color as well. Why not? And then ABD configure. Okay, connect that up. And in here, we just want to set up those physical attributes. So physical attributes here. So this will be glass, glass. That's it. And we can go into our bullet hole. Let me just set this to manual so it's not trying to simulate the first frame every time I make a change. Okay, so glass constraints, proxy geometry. In this case, the proxy geometry is the same. I don't know, I just find all of these nodes, there's some nodes like the constraints from rules, I think that needs proxy geometry, or so I just, always have proxy geometry, even if it's the same. I'm not sure if it may take a bit longer to solve since it has to apply that transform to the other geometry, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. You can just do that. That will work as well, but I just by habit do it like this. Okay. So we want to set up collisions and the guided sim as well. So let's drop a couple of object merges here because we'll be using the results of the other two sims, just like before. So I'll copy that and paste that in here. Oh, let's copy, one sec. If we go to here, because I want all of this stuff as well. Okay, so we get the concrete. Okay, and then I want the same for the metal, the result of the metal sim. So we come here and let's put a null here. Out metal sim proxy. So these are the proxy pieces. So copy that. And then back over to our glass. Paste that in there. So, oops, that's the camera on the other view. Okay, and then connect them up together. Okay, so basically I want the metal to guide the glass, but I want both of them to be a collider, right? So connect them both up as a collision source. Connect that up to the collision geometry, and then let's go ahead and set up what we need in here. So pretty much the same as the metal. Let's turn off the bounce, don't want that. For collisions, this should all be fine. Same again, I'll just turn off bounce. Ground, we want a ground plane, definitely. And then forces, we'll get some drag again, just like before, 0.01. And drag spin, just leave that at default. Constraints, we don't need to do anything there, I don't think. Guided simulation, so we'll turn that on. Again, make sure this is at the end. I think it's dollar. Let me try the expression with a dollar end, something like that. Let's see. No, dollar F end. Oh, there we go. So there we go. See, I think that should be in there by default, so that would give us the end of our frame range. I did a sim before and then everything seemed to just kind of freeze in air when it finished. So the strength, I'm going to set this one to 5, distance 0 to 1 meter. Again, turn off this intra-guide constraints and simulation settings. The blend again to 0.5. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. maybe let's come in here. Right, I'm gonna save the scene and set this to smooth wire shaded. And then just kind of play forward a few frames just to make sure everything's generally working correctly. Then I'll stop it and run the cache. Right, I've gone forward about 17 frames there. Stopped it there. Let me spacebar and F to just get a good look at this. So it's breaking, which is good. It's holding together everywhere else, it seems. It is kind of following along. It looks like these parts, you can see the metal has stayed there, but it's starting to crack and it's cracking elsewhere. That looks kind of cool. It seems to be guided. Yeah, you can see these pieces guide. Oops. Hard to zoom in on this. These pieces are being guided by this piece of metal there. So that's great. So I'm happy to go ahead and cache this out. Let's go back to the first frame. So just like before, we'll do the RBD IO and do the geometry on the points. Right, so geometry in there, simulation points, geometry on points, and then we'll go here and go into our sim. Okay, and then I'll just copy this to make it easier and change this to glass. Okay, copy and paste, just to be lazy. Okay, save that. Paste it up here and get rid of rest and change that to $F3. And that's pretty much it. Save that to disk. So this will be about an hour it took for me, the last one. So, depending on your system, that's, what you've got to expect. Okay, so that's all done. Took a little bit longer than I expected. It was kind of close to 2 hours, to be honest. But I took the liberty of getting a flipbook ready for you guys. So here we go. Looks good. I like to see those chunks kind of moving together so they're following the pieces of metal. And then the big piece in, and it all just kind of smashes up at the end. And then get those nice kind of chunks at the end as well, which is nice. Can see some, it's always about that variation. Big pieces, middle-sized pieces, and then lots of tiny little pieces as well. But super happy with that. I also want to show you the disconnected faces, right? So to demonstrate that, let's just grab one of the windows again. Let's take the name attribute, and if I grab these, okay, delete non-selected, and then just find maybe at some point where they separate. Just moving back a bit more. Okay, near the start. So if we unpack this, should see on the primitives, yeah, we see you have this opposite face ID, so that was generated by the RBD connected faces. So that's an attribute which tells each face which face am I looking at, and you see it's got this -1 if it's not looking at anything, and then there's a distance to that other face, so which is 0 for most of them, it looks like, so they're touching. So what we need to do is drop a, what did I say, RBD disconnected faces now. So it was connected before and now disconnected faces. Plug that in. Okay, and then I just set this to delete connected. So if we zoom in there now, you can see all those faces are there. But if we go back, probably to the first frame, hopefully they are still there. Oh, delete disconnected is what we want. No, delete connected. That should be it. let's try getting rid of this blast. Ah, there we go. It's because something to do with that name attribute, I suppose. But you can see there now, you can see the window's hollow, right? It's kind of, it'd be much more obvious once this is rendered, but you can see all the way through to the other side of the pane there now. And then when it breaks, we get the window edges back. See them there. Okay.